We are committed to building cohesive societies. We believe if we can learn to respect the otherness of the other and accept the God-given uniqueness to each one of us, then conflicts fade and solutions emerge. India, my motherland, is going through some tough times right now, with division and discord trickling down from the Prime Minister's office to every aspect of Indian life. The most important pillar of democracy, justice, is crumbling. Here is one such case, the Delhi riots. In the Delhi riots case, the behavior of the judiciary, all the way up from trial court to the Supreme Court, has not inspired confidence in the autonomy and independence of the judiciary. In this case, the Indian police in the national capital of Delhi is pursuing an utterly false case against Muslim leaders such as Umar Khalid and Khalid Saifi, who have been arrested on fake charges of carrying out the violence in February 2020. Through independent investigations, including Amnesty International, it has been repeatedly established that the extremists from among Hindus carried out that violence with the full support of and participation from the uniformed personnel of Delhi police. That violence has occurred in Northeast Delhi while US President Donald Trump was visiting the Indian capital. As is widely known, the violence started shortly after Kapil Mishra, the leader of the BJP Janata Party, which rules India, openly threatened violence against Muslims and others who had been protesting against the Citizenship Act, which is CAA, whose aim is to disenfranchise Indian Muslims and rob them of their citizenship. This issue, in fact, reached the courts even as the fires were raging in New Delhi. Hearing an urgent plea, Justice Muralidhar and a fellow judge of the Delhi High Court ordered the Delhi police to immediately register a case against BJP leader Kapil Mishra and investigate his role in the violence. That very night, in a matter of hours, Judge Muralidhar was transferred out of the High Court. No explanation was given by the India Supreme Court as to why he was transferred in such a hurry. Within days, the replaced judges of the High Court canceled Justice Muralidhar's order to the police to file a first information report, or the FIR, against the BJP leader Mishra and others. To this day, Mishra has not been investigated and the police has not filed a case against him. Emboldened by the court's response, the Delhi police eventually filed false criminal cases against Harsh Mandir, a globally renowned Indian human rights defender who has recently been nominated for the Nobel Prize and who had been the petitioner seeking police action against the BJP leader Mishra. In passing his order on BJP leader Mishra, Justice Muralidhar had viewed video clips of the speech that Mishra had made, openly threatening violence. Incredibly, while India's Solicitor General, who is the country's senior-most government lawyer, agreed that Mishra's speech was inflammatory, he told the court that it was not conducive time to file the FIR. This, when the police had already registered nearly a dozen FIRs against others, including Muslims, falsely accusing them of violence. What is even more shocking is that when family members of those killed in the violence by the extremists from among Hindus brought their case before the Chief Justice of India, S.A. Bobde, he refused to take any action, either to stop the violence or to order police action against the instigators of the violence, including BJP leader Mishra and BJP parliamentarians Pravesh Verma and Anurag Thakur. Justice Bobde said in the Supreme Court Supreme Court was not equipped to handle that kind of pressure. We cannot stop things from happening. We cannot give preventive relief. We have kind of a pressure on us. All the BJP leaders have continued to walk free. On the other hand, hundreds of Muslims continue to languish in prisons on absurdly false charges of carrying out violence against their own community. As the trial owned up on the lower court since 2020, it became increasingly clear from the proceedings that the police had done an extraordinary, extremely shoddy job. At one point, the police admitted that they did not even have a full recording of speech given by Umar Khalid, a prominent human rights defender and a youth leader, and had only seen a short video clip of his speech. In fact, the full recording of his speech established that Umar Khalid had explicitly eschewed violence and asked the protesters to follow Mahatma Gandhi's path of non-violence. It also became clear that the trial judge, Vinod Yadav, was a no-nonsense judicial officer who would not cut the police any slack. One day he had enough, and he openly chided police in the courtroom, calling the police investigation callous and partial. After a policeman deposing in the court as a witness failed to identify the three alleged rioters, he said the failure of the police to conduct a proper investigation would torment the sentinels of democracy. The judge was incensed that the policemen were lying on oath and giving contradictory statements. He said, "This is a very sorry state of affairs." The judge's exasperation had in fact been building up for months. At one time, he had said that the standard of investigation in a large number of 2020 Northeast riot cases was very poor and will be remembered for police failure. Once he also imposed a fine of rupees 25,000 on a police officer, saying the police have miserably failed in their statutory duties. The Delhi High Court promptly stayed the imposition of that fine. At another time, Judge Yadav observed that the police investigation displayed a complete lack of supervision and was being led in a manner as to protect the accused. He also gave bail to a Muslim man who was accused of joining a Hindu mob killing Muslims. It is very obfuscatory that a Muslim boy would become a part of an unlawful assembly, which mostly consisted members of the Hindu community. The common objective whereof was to cause maximum damage to the property, life and limbs of the other community, he wrote. After his last observation that the police was casual, callous, and partial, Judge Yadav was transferred. Yes, he was transferred within 24 hours and replaced. This decision was taken by the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, without so much as an explanation why he would decide to move a judge in a sensitive case right in the middle of the hearings. The new judge, Amitabh Rawat, has since then been speaking much more favorably to the police. This week, he denied bail to two of the accused Muslim civil rights activists, saying the prima facie he believed the allegations against them were true. He has maintained that line from the day he was assigned to the case over a year ago, saying that prima facie the allegations are true. And how did he arrive at that decision? Judge Rawat said that the protesters had intentionally blocked roads, which caused inconvenience and disrupted supply of essential services. Therefore, their protest qualified to be prosecuted under the draconian anti-terror law called the UAPA. The provisions of UAPA have been rightly invoked in the present case. He said, incredibly, while the judge has kept saying that the charges are prima facie true, he has refused to allow the defense to discuss the evidence, saying that can only be done in the time of trial. A major part of the prosecution's evidence is WhatsApp chats among the accused. The police say the accused were in control of the protest and therefore they incited the violence. The judges say, yes, that seems to be prima facie true on the basis of WhatsApp chats. But when the defense says that nothing in the WhatsApp chat shows that the incited or talked about violence, the judge says, wait a minute, we cannot discuss this yet because the trial isn't over yet. My friends, in conclusion, the essential pillar of democracy, that is justice, is crumbling in India. The social cohesiveness of the nation is torn apart. Everyone is afraid of each other, and the sense of security among Muslims, Christians, and others is very low. And that is, you are looking at 250 million people. I urge our Congress and President Biden to uplift India by asking Prime Minister Modi not to mess with the judiciary. A nation that is not together and just will not be a reliable ally to the United States. We need to think about it. Thank you.